Hi, my name is Steve Chismore, Director of PennDOT's Bureau of Innovations. It is my pleasure to host a series of podcasts celebrating the 10th anniversary of Pennsylvania's State Transportation Innovation Council, or STIC. The fourth and final installment of the STIC's 10th anniversary podcast series focuses on the importance of innovation through collaboration and how the STIC continues to play a vital role in helping bring innovations to Pennsylvania. Today, I'm speaking with the Federal Highway Administration Pennsylvania Division Office Administrator and STIC Co-Chair, Alicia Nolan. The Federal Highway Administration has been an integral part of the Pennsylvania STIC success over the past decade, and the partnership has been vital to the implementation of innovations across the state. Welcome, Administrator Nolan.
Before we get started here, can you please tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and your involvement with the Pennsylvania STIC?
Sure. I'm the division administrator here in PA for Federal Highway Administration. That means that I'm in charge of the office that covers all things related to federal highway and the federal aid programs. One of the areas that I've always loved to champion is innovation and technology. I think, these are opportunities that we have to really showcase what we can do, to do things a little bit differently, and to have a better process, and also have, ways to do things more efficiently moving forward. I was coming from Colorado before I came here to Pennsylvania, and I actually stood up this STIC out in Colorado. So I was very intimately involved with the STIC out there, and coming to one here in Pennsylvania that was so mature and really an example that was being used nationwide of how things can be done and how things can move forward was tremendous opportunity. And so I was very happy to be engaged from when I came here about 5 years ago to really showcase everything that's happening with the STIC. So thank you.
Alicia, the PA STIC, as you know, has been around for 10 years now. What do you think are some of the benefits that the STIC has realized with the state-based innovation deployment approach?
Again, here in Pennsylvania, the collaboration of the members, I think, is so important, and really the sharing of ideas. It is tremendous that, over the 10 years, just looking at the technologies that have been embraced through everyday counts and even the STIC initiatives, and even beyond that, for researching different components. It really is cross-cutting as far as those innovations, looking at everything from maintenance to pavements to, different ways and different processes that you even do is very tremendous of what has been able to be achieved here in Pennsylvania. So it's really that collaboration and really sharing of ideas is so important.
Well, thank you. And Alicia, you just mentioned that the STIC brings together just a whole litany of people. It brings together the private sector, the public sector, state government, local governments. Why do you feel it's so important that the public and private transportation stakeholders come together to collaborate and advance innovation?
We all have limited resources, and with the private investment or private opportunities to really partner together, really creates a synergy of leveraging all of our resources and forming an opportunity to really have the key components for really brainstorming and coming up with ideas and identifying problems that people have in the private sector, especially with some of the industry, working on construction projects and in the industry, supplying, different products. This is a great opportunity to really, champion some improvements and bring ideas together in a forum that, really is ripe for that collaboration and really exploring some of those possibilities of, can this work? And, we have resources to kind of test it out, through research or through the STIC initiative funds, and then see if it really is worthwhile to champion further for implementation. And I think it just leverages everybody's resources and really builds that component to make it stronger and better and find different ways of doing things.
Well, thank you, Alicia. You mentioned earlier about Colorado and how you helped champion the development and startup of that stick in Colorado. Well, as you know, the Pennsylvania stick, we're fortunate here. In fact, it's been held up numerous times as a model for success nationwide. What do you think makes the Pennsylvania stick kind of stand out from the rest?
I think the stick structure here is so strong. It is, where you're bringing leaders together, for those in-person meetings 3 times a year, 4 times a year. It's really the structure of the tags, where you have different groups focus on different components as far as maintenance or design elements and pavements and different components that have been brought together to really explore those components in a very technical way, but then bringing it to the larger group really is a strength and showcasing what everybody is concerned about and finding solutions and opportunities to really bring together all those individuals across the private and public sectors, the universities, the academics, the uh, you know individuals who are actually doing the various work programs and products and activities. And it's that collaboration, that structure that's very strong. I also think that the behind the scenes, the team that really helps coordinate everything and make sure everything stays on track and tracks all the information and sets up the meetings and makes sure that products are being implemented and the components. It's so important to have, dedicated individuals who are really demonstrating that professionalism and that dedication for excellence, trying to make these products so important, really, providing those tools and the support that's needed to really invest and do those components. So I think those two elements really makes it such a strong stick together.
Oh, thank you, Alicia. Alicia, the transportation industry, I mean, not only in Pennsylvania, but nationwide, is facing just a multitude of challenges. Funding being very high on the list, staffing concerns, environmental concerns, and I could go on and on. There's just a whole list of concerns that we face as an industry. What role does innovation play in helping to solve those challenges? And how do you think an organization like the Stick can help overcome and not only overcome those challenges, but get over them?
So I'll answer the first part as far as the opportunities, and I think there's many opportunities for innovation to help, reach some of those challenges. Working together, and this is where the collaboration, as I talked about for the stick, is so important, is to really bring those ideas and not accept that, oh, we've always been doing it this way, so we just need to keep doing it. A mentality that we need to change. We need to be more efficient and pool our resources so that we can come up with different solutions, more efficient solutions, in ways that we can, have, the different components really, shift how we're doing things and ask that question why. And the stick provides that forum really to, provide that opportunity to start questioning, well, why have we been doing it this way? How can we do it differently? How can we address our resources that are so limited? How can we save money? How can we really leverage the components that we have in our industry together? And through conversations that take place at the stick, really you have that fostering of partnerships among the transportation stakeholders to really say, well, wait a minute, these are ways that we can do something different. We're, as we indicated, the resources, the funding, the environmental impacts that our industry has as a whole. These are challenges that I think working together with the, multitude of individuals that we bring together in the stick can really foster those solutions that really will, you know, be the solvers of all those challenges that we have in the industry today.
Thank you, Alicia. And it's something I want to touch on that you mentioned is the stick, again, it brings together just that wide host of groups, private governments, state governments, private sector, academia. It's just it's a litany of transportation stakeholders who come to the table. But that said, there are still some challenges faced in expediting the deployment of innovations, particularly here in Pennsylvania. How do you think this stick and how we as a group can overcome those hurdles?
Yeah, with that, there's always the risk. It's really with risk, of embracement, taking that risk of trying something new. And what we have with the STIC initiatives is, kind of coming up with some funding so that you're not, that risk is not, well, I know that the way that we've done it this way, I get this result. If I change that to something else, I don't know what that's going to be. And I might be not utilizing my funding the wisest way and having that risk aversion of, oh, well, that's why we keep doing it the same way. Shifting to doing something different does take that risk, and managing risk and having some of the resources so that we can learn from others, and this is the whole concept of everyday counts, of learning and seeing what others have done and really sharing that information in a safer place, where you're not taking that risk, you're managing that risk, learning from others and capitalizing on those components that you're learning about, seeing how it's done, really having some of those peer exchanges or information sharing that can take place through the stick, and then champion, let's do a pilot here. Let's really do some more research to get a better understanding of it. Let's leverage some of our funding so that there is, a testing environment that we can do moving forward. So I think it's creating that sense of, well, we're going to try it and see how it goes versus, well, we're not going to take on that risk. And I think the stick has been successful in kind of capturing some of those components in different aspects, so that builds that more comfortable situation that people say, oh, I do have that opportunity to take on that risk and see how it really turns out. And I think that's the advantage of the stick, and having some of those conversations about sharing information and sharing these concepts through the stick, as well as some of the things that we are doing nationally to really showcase how innovation is working, and how we can do things differently to make it more efficient and less resource intensive.
Well, thank you, Alicia. It's interesting whenever you're at one of our stick meetings, you look around a stick room, or, I was recently at the APC conference, you look around those conferences and I see a lot of folks who have my gray hair color. So, obviously they're the industry, we're starting to see a lot of folks, move on to either second careers or retire. But we do have a whole host of individuals who are just coming up through the ranks. We have the new engineers, we have the new technical experts who are just starting to find their place at PennDOT or in the transportation industry. And obviously, as you know, that we rely on a host of individuals to develop and deploy innovations here in PA. How do we ensure that we continue to encourage those individuals to think outside of the box, to take the time and add to their already busy schedules and really take the risks with innovation?
Sure. And I think, what's so important is really leadership support. And one of the things that also are, really demonstrated, in the stick and how we have been approaching the whole innovation, technology here in Pennsylvania, is that highest level support. And really building that comfort zone that people can, have ideas and support those ideas from the highest levels of leadership, saying, yeah, let's do something differently. Let's think and support those initiatives, and innovations. Some ideas might not be able to be done, but have that safe environment where leadership is supporting you in coming up with new ideas, and how you can, showcase the successes that people have had as well, showing that, this was an idea that was generated from this particular maintenance yard. And now it's being carried forward, statewide with this, they saw something, through different, tools that they were reading, and they really wanted to embrace it. And here we have these ideas, and then champion those, to showcase that they are taking the steps to really, make things better for not only the state, but for the agencies that they work for. And I think that's how you do it.
Alicia, thank you again. We're speaking with Alicia Nolan, FHWA Division Administrator here in Harrisburg, the Pennsylvania Division. Alicia, is there anything that I'm missing or anything that you would like to add before we close out our discussion today?
Well, I just wanted to again, say that, the STIC here in Pennsylvania is award winning, as we've talked about already. It is a pillar for excellence, and a lot of dedication, a lot of, the individuals who have made it successful really demonstrates the benefit. And I think it's something that the concepts, the technology, the innovations that are being talked about through the STIC have really showcased how successful this program, this effort has been. And there's been huge cost savings and really new technology being embraced, for all those challenges that we have in the transportation industry that we've talked about today. And I just want to say that, here in the state of Pennsylvania, the STIC is really leading the way and has been leading the way. And I look forward to the future for that to continue. So thank you.
Thank you, Alicia.
Thank you for joining us today and for helping us celebrate the PA STIC's 10th anniversary and its efforts to develop and deploy innovations across Pennsylvania. Visit www.penndot.pa.gov/STIC to learn more about the PA STIC and how we are innovating transportation in Pennsylvania.